Hey everyone, so Mohammad Day is upon us yet again in its third iteration, and the focus now seems to be on a Saudi national named Hamza Kashgari. I'm not sure exactly when, but he tweeted out three very innocuous, very inoffensive tweets about the Prophet Muhammad. Well, I say inoffensive, innocuous to most of the world they would be, but in Saudi Arabia they are considered the height of blasphemy, which is why he is being detained and could possibly face execution for what he did. So Thunderfoot in his infinite wisdom has changed the focus to Hamza Kashgari and also changed the venue. Muhammad Day is now taking place on Twitter, and yet again the slacktivists seem to be out in force. Now, I'm not a big fan of the term slacktivist. It just seems like yet another buzzword to describe people, but it's very apt in my opinion, and hey, if the shoe fits. Now, slacktivists, and I've been on YouTube long enough to see, you know, some of these people and how they interact with people and how they act when confronted with certain things. They seem to have none of the bravery, but all of the ego of activists of, you know, say even just 10, 15, 20 years ago. And this, I think, is one of the downsides of the internet. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the internet. I think it's a massively powerful and popular tool in which you can get you know, a massive wealth of information out to even very poor people around the world, and it's, you know, it's a massive positivity gain for the world. It's also made people very very sort of lazy, and why people think that they can just sort of affect the world just as much as you know, going out there and, you know, spreading awareness in the real world, as it were. Now, in some cases that is very much true, but I think in this situation you really need to get out there and give your message across to people who maybe don't know about these things, people who are you know, liberal, open-minded, but aren't really, you know, in tune with you know, world politics, or maybe ignorant of some of the things that are going on. It also especially seems to be the case that the people that participate in these kinds of nothing events are expressing their free speech to people that probably already know about it anyway. So it's kind of like a cyclical jerk-off that goes nowhere. And in my opinion, it speaks to also a very selfish mindset. Let me explain. You talk to people who, you know, say, you know, you could ask them why do you participate in Muhammad Day, and they would just go, oh, my free speech, this is free speech, which isn't really an argument. It's just something that you have, and that's all they seem to talk about. They talk about their free speech, you know, their free speech. That's it, my free speech. I want to use my right of free speech in whichever way I want, and that's great. You know, nobody's saying that. There's nobody on the other side of this argument, apart from maybe, you know, the actual extremists who say that you can't say these things. You know, I'm all well and good, you can say whatever you want about the Prophet Muhammad, but just don't put yourself into this sort of delusional thinking where you actually believe that you're doing something productive. And so it's all about their free speech, nobody else's free speech, not people's free speech in, say, you know, Pakistan or Saudi Arabia, as I said before, where, you know, these things actually do have real life repercussions. And we all know about when Pakistan blocked access to Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and about 1,000 other websites for nearly 2 weeks in May 2010. I'm reading this off a link, and I'll post it in the below bar, over blasphemous content. So you know, the message that was put forth then wasn't really getting to the people that it could actually affect, and could actually show, hey, there are people out there who you know, are engaging in their free speech rights, and, you know, nothing's happening to them. Look, we can say the same things as well. It could embolden them, but no, that, you know, the Pakistani authorities you know, saw to it that people didn't see that. And now Pakistan again has blocked access to Twitter in response to blasphemous material. So again, you're participating in an event in which the millions and millions of people that you're wanting to get across to aren't going to be able to see your message. Tell me again how more censorship means that you win. And another thing that irks me about people who participate in these events is that they seem to equate their own free speech as being on par, bravery-wise, with free speech made by, for instance, as I said, Hamza Kashgari. Their own inflated sense of self-importance seems to think that they are, one, helping, and two, that they are now part of a collective along with people like Kashgari who are changing the attitudes of Fundi Muslims? Well, some of the Fundi Muslims are actually blocking the sites that you're using, so that's not helping there. And two, that line of thinking is just ludicrous. Again, context is your friend. It's very easy to say a very inoffensive statement in America or the UK or the Western world, really, where we do have free speech rights and they are taken very seriously. It's quite another thing to say them where there is actual real world danger that you are putting yourself in if even you say the most innocuous things. You are not one with Hamza Kashgari in that sense. What he did took some balls. What you're doing is something that you did in 5 seconds before you went to go and watch another episode of SpongeBob SquarePants or something. It's very easy to defend a right when you have nothing on the line. You truly find out how important the rights that you hold dear are when your own life is potentially on the line. And I hope none of you people who participate in this ever have to find that out. If you really want to make a difference with cases like this, you need to go out there, you need to contact embassies, you need to contact people that can actually change policies, that can put pressure on countries and things like this. I'm going to link below Cardinal Virtue's video in the below bar, where he actually talks about some of the things you can do, such as contacting embassies and diplomats, ambassadors, people like that. I think that's the best way to go. Really, with Jawar Mohammad Day, you're pleasing no one but yourself. It's kind of like the internet version of driving a hybrid car. Cheerio, everyone.